Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about halal mortgage. Why I want to talk about this? Because in the past couple of months, this has been one of the top news in Canada. Some people from work, they came up to me and say, "See Daniel, now the government of Canada supporting halal mortgage." As I explained in my one of my old videos about halal mortgage, there's no such thing as halal. They just changed the word. They changed the word interest to administration fee. And sometimes they there's another way to do halal mortgage is they already projected the price after after everything, and then what you pay they call it rent. So that way the word interest will not be in the contract. But doesn't matter what word they use. As a matter of fact, it is still an interest. But today, I want to show you this actually a week ago. CTV News talk about this in depth. Well, it's deep enough anyway to understand. Because I talk to many people who are Muslims. That's why you don't see many Muslims running to halal mortgage, to get halal mortgage, because halal mortgage is a scam. Let us read. While not yet common in Canada, halal mortgages have been available for those in the country who seek loans that abide by Islamic law to buy homes. But now, here's what mortgage experts say those considering no interest halal mortgage should know. Now we just jump to this. Look at this. How no interest works. This part is very important. Pay attention. All right? Halal means lawful or allowed. Now we jump to this. Soeb Sharif, the president of Islamic finance consultant company, Ijara Community Development Corp, said interest is forbidden in Islam because it could exploit the borrower. Wow. Wow. So they do not, halal mortgage wants to make sure the borrower will not be exploited. Right? Now keep reading. An Islamic finance transaction protects the rights of all parties and is fair for everyone, he explained. His non-profit his non-profit company offers halal mortgage services for customers in North America, including Canada. But Tran said he's not aware of any halal mortgage product without a rate tied to it. This the Vietnamese guy said he's not aware of any halal mortgage product without a rate tied to it. According to Tran's interpretation, although Sharia law forbids interest, halal mortgages are not necessarily interest free. What is essentially interest can be named differently, such as profit rate, profit, or fee, translate. So the halal mortgage is basically just like traditional mortgage without the word interest in any of the documentation, but rather they would incorporate some type of fee structure. There is still money for the lenders to make. However, now back to the guy, Sharif. Sharif said profit is permissible as long as it complies with the Islamic faith. Well, when the bank give interest, that's the profit. Now, halal mortgage changed that word interest, and he said, so that way the borrower cannot be exploited. And look at, remember what I just showed you here. His non-profit company offers halal mortgage. And then, now, here he said, no interest does not mean no profit. So if you buy a house at $500,000, so if it's no interest, this is all you pay. But because it is no interest, but there is fee, so this is not all you're gonna pay. You will have to pay more than that. Here, Sheriff said, it is not a case of where somebody just went into traditional contract and just changed the word interest to profit. They are structurally very different, of course. There are three ways to do Sharia compliant financing. They are considered more equitable and ethical. Wow. Because they are based on a trade where all parties can share in gain or loss. Rent to own. This is what I just told you before. Or ijara wa itina is the best method economically for halal mortgages. But this is the problem. Well, this article doesn't explain, in my old video I explained the problem with rent to own. Now you are a renter, but when the stove breaks, you have to fix it yourself. You cannot call the landlord, even though on the paper it says you are the renter. You understand? So this is as if it is your own house. Something breaks, you have to fix it yourself from your own pocket. Now, look at this. So when the customer makes their rent payment, part of their payment goes to ownership until they get to 100%. Now, the math, finally, is a bit unanswered. The math can be the same as a regular mortgage, of course. Here is the clue. Part of their payment goes to ownership. Part of. What about the other part? The other part goes to fee, aka interest. Thank you very much. When you're paying mortgage with interest, if you check the paper from the bank or the statement from the bank, you will see they will show you how much goes to the interest, how much goes to the principal, how much payment is for the principal, how much payment is for interest, right? This is the same, except they change the word interest to fee. That's all. Now, I will show you the kicker at the end of this. But before that, let's go to the second method, musyarakah, a joint venture, as also known as a declining balance co-partnership. So the customer becomes partners with the lender. So let's say you are the customer, right? You are at zero, and then the partner is the lender, they're at 100. This is zero. And then after 5 years of paying, you are here at 5. And then they are here at 95. This is just making up some numbers. And then 10 years later, you are at 25. They are at 75. You see? And then until finally it will be completely reversed. You will reach 100, they will reach 0. That is the partnership they're talking about. But this partnership also the same thing. All the interest, let's say you take the mortgage is like for 25 years. All the interest of 25 years interest is already added on the price of the house or condo you buy. If the price of the price of the house or condo is 500K, let's say after 25 years you actually pay 300,000 interest. So on the paper it will show you the price of 800, not 500. Very simple. This is because how Allah doesn't want to make it complicated. Allah want to make it simple. The third method is an installment sale or deferred sale finance called murabaha. So, which occurs when the customer buys the property and marks it up from the initial price and make payments over a period of time. There you go. I don't need to answer. I don't need to explain it any further. Look at this. Who can apply? Anyone can apply, even if you're a Muslim. Doesn't matter you're not a Muslim. Even you're a Hindu, a Christian, you can apply because they want to make money. Now, this is the kicker. Are they more or less expensive? In my old video, I mentioned halal mortgages are more expensive. Now, let's take a look at this. Lenders could charge a higher rate or higher fee to offer this type of service, in part because a halal mortgage is a very niche product or not common in Canada. There is not a lot of competition and not many financial institutions that offer Islamic financing. Now the kicker. Depending on the lender or Islamic financial institution and the customer financial institution, a halal mortgage rate could generally cost about 2 to 3% more than a traditional mortgage rate, which is great. If you are a Muslim, I recommend halal mortgage. This is good. It's very good because you have to support Islam, right? Why you go with CIBC? This CIBC, TD Bank, BMO, they're the bank of kufar. Don't support these banks. You're supposed to do with this. Now, let us read more. With my experience arranging the type of financing, it was roughly around 2% more. And it's interesting because some of his Muslim clients do not mind paying that higher amount per month. They don't mind paying that higher rate because it's a product that is Sharia compliant and it fits within the Islamic law. So by just changing the word interest to something else, the banks, the financial institution can make 2% more. That's why the big five banks in Canada, they want to take part. They don't want to be left behind. They want to start right now. And Justin Trudeau, of course, this is a political move, but aside from that, this is a good thing for otherwise, regular banks cannot have their hands in this. Why getting 5% interest when you can get 7%? 2% per year on 100,000, it will give the bank to $2,000 more. Well, I'm not even calculating it correctly. But if you owe $1 million, 2% is $20,000 more. And houses in Canada are pretty much 1 point something million dollars on average. So even every 500,000, they can get $10,000 more. So tell me which bank doesn't want this? Every bank, every bank wants this because they get more, obviously. But that's all from me for tonight. I thought it was good to bring this up again. So I want people to know that halal mortgage is nothing but scam. If you are a Muslim, be wise. As you can see, just by changing the word doesn't mean the interest is not there. The interest is still there. It's not changing the fact that the interest is not there anymore just because they changed the word. Anyway, that's all from me for tonight. Thank you for listening and watching. Whether you go for a halal mortgage or haram mortgage, God bless you all. Have a nice life.